everybody, welcome to a very unique thing that I guess will slowly become less unique because this is the start of the future of the DCU. Finally, Sam, it has a nice name.
Yeah, like, because there was a while where it was the DCEU.
Yep. Not too bad.
Not too bad. I mean, it was kind of expected.
Yeah.
The DCU, I feel like people are just going to tear out the shreds because it's MCU, kind of.
That's
but
true.
Look,
yeah.
I'm glad there's a name.
Yeah.
But that name needs to be a brand of something that's good.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know anything that has been announced, which is crazy for me.
Yeah.
Because normally I'm the first one to be like, holy shit. So I've got no idea what's happening.
You're going to be holy shit through this, maybe.
Yeah.
I've got all the dates. I've watched James Gunn talk in my face, and I'm going to be giving them to Sam, see what he thinks about Slate. Well, not Slate. So the first thing, I guess, is the biggest news is that we're not going phases. We're calling them chapters.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I forgot to write this one bit, but I remember this bit because it's cool. I think it's chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. So,
okay, cool.
Or it might be Monsters and Gods. I've started off really well with my notes, but
really, really well.
Either way, chapters, which Gods and Monsters, it is the other way.
That's cool. Yeah.
It's I like it. I think this is probably where old mate Grace Randolph saw the Snyderism, because Snyder was very big on the God portion of
She was
DC.
just stirring the pot with that tweet, William.
She knew what she was doing.
She knew what she was doing.
So it's nice. And the other thing, of course, is that it will be a singular multiverse or universe. Which means anything that doesn't really fit within what the stories that are being told will be considered Elseworld adventures, as they are in the comics, which is cool. So things like the Batman Part 2, which is what it's called. We also know now it's called Part 2. As well as Joker 2, but Joker has a weird name that's in like French, and I've never been able to say it. So
me neither.
Joker 2, they'll be considered Elseworld, as well as like animated stuff and kind of everything before this first chapter. Ish, because it is still a soft reboot, as you kind of see. James Gunn also said... Totally wasn't what we were officially using. Joshy says Elseworlds. Yeah. We now officially will call it Elseworlds. As the comics has for the past forever. He also mentioned that the universe that we're going to be going into is a universe that's existed for a long time. There's not really going to be many origin stories. Superheroes have existed in the DCU for ages. He then dropped a really big slap to Marvel, where he's like, we're telling a big, huge central story like Marvel, but we're starting from the ground up, so we're going to be better. And it's like, let the movies come out first, James.
Jesus. Oh, man.
Let's not.
Don't jinx yourself, please.
Buddy. Also, I guess there'll be never a Guardians movie ever again. Just
nothing from him in Disney at all.
Just burn those bridges, James.
Yeah.
But the first bridge we're going to cross into the DCU, the first thing that's going to be coming out in this first chapter, I've arranged them release order, so just assume the one after another. The first thing, which no release dates, and we'll get into that in a bit, but it is called Creature Commandos, and it's an animated series coming to HBO Max. 7 episodes. I know you're not a big animated boy.
No.
So, but here's your issue now, Sam, because James was very intentional.
Yeah.
Everything is tied together.
Yeah, of course it is. I knew that was coming.
Yeah, he says that anyone, and they've been speaking to actors, any actors cast for this are cast for live action. So they're actually going...
That's cool.
It's less... I mean, it's got to be about the voice as well, but it's also like, we're going to use you very soon. So be available for that, which is really cool. The guy on the left side, that's Rick Flag Sr., so it's Rick Flag's dad. I would love if they just cast the same guy, but just age him up, like the guy that played Rick Flag in the Suicide Squad movies.
Cool.
Other characters, we've got Nina Mazurki, which is the alien lady there. Dr. Phosphorus, which is a Batman villain. Frankenstein, or specifically Eric Frankenstein. Cool.
Eric,
the Bride of Frankenstein. Who's the lead of the show, apparently. G.I. Robot, and then, of course, back from the Suicide Squad, one of our first returning character, it's Weasel, which was James Gunn's.
So how old is Weasel if he's been around since like the father?
Yeah, I know, it's
of
weird.
Rick Flag.
I don't know, man. I don't know what the timeline is, but yeah, Weasel being in this from the Suicide Squad is, and obviously it's going to be played by Sean Gunn. They're not going to change that up.
No, God no.
So yeah, I'm sure this is the worst way to start this for you. An animated series.
It was the most lackluster thing.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Sam.
It's fine.
Because, obviously you have your favorites across the DC universe. Will you watch everything with, at least because now that everything's tying together? Or similar to the MCU now, where it almost is getting to, I'll just pick what I want.
Yeah. I mean, it depends. It depends what they say is, tying things together. Because they could have said that, speaking in terms of Marvel, they would have said that about the What If series, but then it's you could watch that, you could not watch that and go into the movies.
Totally. Yeah.
And still, so if this is like that, I'm not too fussed, but if it is a heavy tie-in thing, I'm gonna have to sit down and watch it.
Yeah.
I'm just a fan of my live action stuff.
Yeah,
that's
I know
all.
you are.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
This is also it's being written by James Gunn, and he said he's written all 7 episodes already. So it's super in production. Again, no release date, but possibly sometime this year I could see. Especially being animated, as long as they get all the cast they need. Next up, and then this is the proof of the soft reboot. Our first live action show, which will be HBO Max or Binge for us, I assume, is Waller, which, of course, I know. Let's just remember, first project, Weasel, second project, Amanda Waller. In this, also, he's going to have a bunch of the Peacemaker characters. So he started off with, my brother's in it, and my wife's in it. It's dude, you're doing what people were worried about.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's going to act as a bridge between Peacemaker season 1 and 2. So, of course, John Cena is going to be back as Peacemaker. Yep. That's not getting a reboot. The showrunner, or at least people working on the show, is Crystal Henry, who was a writer on the Watchmen series, which was hugely successful, so that's good. And the one that's really exciting is Jeremy Carver, who created Doom Patrol, will be working on this as well. Cool. So there's some good names. It's based on a run. A lot of the, basically these comic issues that have been used are ones that are the backbone of the stories. So there's, which, is really awesome. James Gunn is very keen on these being not, obviously, just like Marvel, loose adaptations, but taking a main storyline and kind of building it. You skipped out on Peacemaker, the show.
I did.
And Amanda Waller was kind of in 2 of the not great movies. Does this tickle your pickle?
It really doesn't. But for the reason that from this reboot and him building this universe now, it's I just want to focus on the core characters and the core group. I feel like this is something that you should focus on after you have established things in a good way. Wait until your universe is doing well and making money, then branch out. Because the thing is that if you're putting effort and money into these shows and they don't do well,
it's not a good
Warner
start.
Brothers, like what has happened in the past, Warner Brothers are going to get scared and get cold feet and go, maybe not,
Well,
so
I have to, maybe not the animated show, I have to assume this show was one of the we're already working on it because I made that oven. This is but it is unfortunately one of the first things that will come out, and it's not it's not the greatest start.
No, I think that's more the thing as well. It's I kind of wanted his run of DC to start with a bang and be impactful and exciting and sort of encourage people to watch and give hope in a way to what could come. Yeah.
Sorry,
cool.
Sam. Well, look, the next project, which is the only one of anything in this that has a release date, is a ways off, which kind of, might set that this is next year, animated this year. First live action movie in this new slate. He mentions that there might be surprises along the way in terms of other projects not announced. But July 11th, 2025, we'll see Superman Legacy. Now you're here.
Oh, yeah. Now I'm in. So, now this is good.
Yeah.
Tell me about this, William, please.
I think Gunn or Safran said that this is the real launch of the DCU, so you are right. They're kind of like, we know the other things are weird. This is where we really start. Peter Safran said that James Gunn is writing this. The Warner Brothers is hoping he directs it, which I'm like, I don't know if that's the right choice. Like,
no, because like you and I were both in the very same boat when it came to the Suicide Squad.
Yes.
Like the Suicide Squad just didn't grab me at all. And this was one of my key worries. It was kind of like, I don't want him to be writing and making everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I hope that they get another director. I think the way he's saying we're hoping that he directs it is maybe James Gunn himself is like, I don't think I should. Like,
yeah, okay.
which I hope so. They say it's not an origin story, so we're not going to start from scratch. Good.
Yep.
Same with Spider-Man. We're kind of through it. It's okay.
That's fine. Yep.
It's going to focus on Superman balancing his Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing, and that's kind of all we've got. It's called Superman Legacy, which is interesting because Legacy can either go two ways. It can either be kind of a reflection on what has come, or it's kind of him looking at his Kryptonian heritage, as it kind of says. So maybe it's leaning heavier into, like, I don't know, the alien side of him, potentially?
Yeah, well, like that little bit that you read at the start where it was like him... Wait, can you say it again for me?
Focuses on Superman balancing his Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if maybe it's like him in a very, very young stage of his life where he's trying to balance both and maybe fighting that fight of should I lead towards more being an alien and keeping that heritage alive, or should I just go full on into being a human being and not really care about the fact that I'm from another planet? That's what I get from that. I mean, like, Gunn has said that like this stage of the DCU is going to be young versions of the characters. So if that is the truth, I can see that being more possible.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I will say this was the one title that I did see today. I didn't see like a date or anything. I just saw, I was just going through for a scroll and I saw it as like my vision slowed down and I was able to read it as I very quickly scrolled by. Part of me is like, I wish you just called it Superman. Like, just keep it nice and simple to start off with. Leave these titles that have like a subtitle.
The Batman. Like, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, look, I just hope it's good. That's all I want. At the end of the day, I just want it to be good. I want it to be enjoyable, impactful, bring back that Superman vibe that everyone loves. Yeah. So fingers crossed for that.
He also, and we know, we've known this for so long. It's not really news. I think someone, there's a Vanity Fair article that kind of came alongside all the official DC news, and he was like, "It's not Henry Cavill. I'm sorry. Yeah. We're looking, as you said, for younger actors. We just can't. He just will not fit into the wider scope of it." And
that's fair enough. Yeah.
It's sad, but you know, like the fact that he's willing to keep something like Matt Reeves' Batman is that, you know, there's still possibilities that if they're like, we want to try something with Superman that doesn't fit, that they could bring him back to do something unique, I guess.
Yeah, totally.
Hopefully. But and another thing he also mentioned is that that actors like Gal Gadot, Ezra Miller, what the fuck, and a couple of other ones he name dropped. He was like, we're talking to them and we've told them that they can come back if it's appropriate. So the kind of pillars of the DCU that like already existed, Jason Momoa, he's mentioned that Jason Momoa wants a third movie to round out a trilogy at the very least. So a lot of the Snyderverse actors will probably still remain at least to do one or two more projects. So yeah, it's very soft reboot, which is weird because of like, obviously there's so much continuity. Yeah. Where does everything fit?
Yeah, totally.
It's odd. It's odd, Sam. Well, let's get through a couple more projects and discuss that. The next thing is a live action series. Basically, dropped today was 5 shows, 5 films. This is the next live action show, which is going to be about the Lanterns.
Cool.
I thought I saved 2 photos here, but it will star Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, the two kind of biggest lanterns in popular knowledge. It's not exactly going to be spacey, which is cool.
Okay.
Because it's actually going to be more of a true detective kind of noir kind of show, which is interesting, which is cheap on a budget because it's a TV show. Apparently a terrestrial-based mystery that leads, it will be a terrestrial-based mystery that leads into an overall story that they're telling across the DCU. So this will actually be one of those pivotal shows to consume to understand
cool.
a grander scale. So they're marveling it. Of course they are.
Yeah, of course.
It says, basically they're super cops for Earth. So something's happening on Earth that's a little bit alien, a little bit that's leaning into a grander story in the DCU. Which is cool. I assume Green Lantern fans, some will like it. Some will be like, I wanted space stuff with rings and punching. But I don't know. I think something else James Gunn said is that they're going to try and lean into different genres and different stuff. So this one being kind of a noir detective is kind of proof of that. In the way Werewolf by Night is just like, it's just a horror film. That's all it is. It's not, he wants to do a lot more with that, with DC. How do you feel?
Yeah, not bad. I'm kind of like, because if this was me, I wouldn't try this stuff this early on.
So early.
Like, again, like, he should really just be keeping it as simple as he can.
Sam, wait till the next project. Keep going.
No.
Keep
talking.
No,
I mean, like, that's really my only thought. I just believe that at this point in time, he should just be keeping it as safe as possible and keep things simple so that then the DC universe can flourish into other things and grow.
Sam.
But I feel like I'm so wrong. Because what are you about to tell me, mate?
Let me talk to you about the next film, which is called The Authority, which... Look, there's goods and bads. It's cool that he's not just doing the things... in the sense that it's, you know, giving spotlight to a bunch of different characters, of course. But you're so right that the fact that he doesn't do, like, Batman and Superman and stuff up front is bizarre. So this, again, is a James Gunn written film. He said it's a big passion project. He says... Jesus. These are Wildstorm characters, which Wildstorm were comics in print that DC bought. So these are technically not even DC characters. They bought them at some point and kind of brought them into the universe. These are kind of... They're not the boys. Joshy is just dropping so much lore in the chat, but...
So much,
it's fine. They're not the boys or the whatever the fuck the superheroes and that. They're kind of... they want to do good, but they're kind of against the government and against things that are good in the world. So they end up killing and... murdering in ways that superheroes probably shouldn't is kind of they're you know, I want to say the anti-heroes, but Suicide Squad is already that. I don't know. This is a weird project.
I feel like it's very much he's been given like the reins of DC and he was like, well, everyone likes the boys.
I'll do one of those.
I'll do one of them.
It's very strange. If you want to look into the backstory of this, please do. Just talk to Joshy. Milk Police says comic book movie Twitter is going to start pretending to have read Warren Ellis Wildstorm. There you go.
They absolutely will. Yeah,
they will. They'll pretend to be so excited for all of these characters.
Yeah.
I'll just say the names of them because Joshy, we don't have time. But thank you. One of them is Jenny Sparks, who apparently can manipulate electricity. I guess that's the English lady here. There's Apollo, a solar battery. It is
season 1 of Doctor Who. Yeah,
it's the empty child. Solar battery. Apollo is a solar battery with human strength. I'm gonna say this guy.
Guessing the gold guy in the middle, maybe.
Oh yeah. The engineer, which is a woman that infused herself with nanomachines. There's she in the middle. The Doctor is someone that is the latest in a long line of Earth sorcerers, so that's Dr. Fate. Swift, a woman with the ability to manifest wings. And that's fucking boring. That's Hawk Girl. That's the character already.
Yeah.
Midnighter, a former soldier with enhanced abilities. So Captain America. Yeah, okay, this sounds revolting. What are you doing, James?
This sounds like...
Yeah.
When Marvel announced like their phase 3.
Yeah.
And people were like,
what's happening?
who are the Eternals? Like,
well, Phase 4, yeah. Phase 4.
Yeah, sorry, Phase 4.
With all
yeah,
those
yeah.
kind of But
yes, that's right, Phase 4. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we found our Eternals. Joshi says a lot of characters have there's good representation in there, which is awesome. But it's it has to be at the forefront of story, and you can't just bring characters in because of that
100%. Like the story needs to be good, the movie needs to be good.
Yeah,
like
maybe
look,
maybe the comics are great. Milk Please is saying this may have a Guardians effect in that no one knows who these people are, and the film might be great.
I mean, possibly,
but it's the start of a universe, James. It's the start of a universe.
I'm so
look.
Oh, I don't even know.
Whilst she's not in it, this is getting a bit closer. The next project, which is another TV series, live action, is going to be called Paradise Lost, and it's a Game of Thrones style story about Themyscira, Paradise Island, and kind of the beginning of a culture of just women and what the politics of that are, and like how they created a society that wasn't just murder and backstabbing and stuff. It's obviously set well before Wonder Woman is born, so the likelihood of her being in it is low, but maybe they'll do a little bit of flashback and forwardy stuff to kind of have that essence. Like, I have a little bit of fan wank in there of Gal Gadot. Joshi says, please hire Linda Carter. That would be awesome if she had a role amongst these characters. That would be cool. But it's a wild choice. But this one, I think, it's weird. This one, I think, I like the most out of the obscure stuff because it at least has a direct tie to a character. Like, there's something a little bit more there. Ben's saying, it's better than just throwing the big boys up front. I agree in a, versatile state. But
yeah, look, I can understand that. But the thing is that because we haven't been given those, mainstream core group, we don't have anything to care about of where they've come from before this or what their, world is like.
Yeah.
Like if we had this world's version of, I'm having a stroke. Wonder Woman.
Wow.
Then and if there's elements of her character where it gets us excited for this, that would make more sense.
Yeah, I think similar to where the Batman was a movie and then they're doing Penguin and Gotham, it's like we're expanding from that rather than...
Exactly. So it's like you get a taste of what that universe and these characters are like, and then you expand on it if people like it.
Yeah.
I feel like he's just doing a lot of things here in reverse.
Especially, separately, it doesn't feel like we're building a cinematic universe, especially this, which is set, assumedly, thousands of years away from the current point in time in the DCU. Milk says, I do wonder if Gunn knows something behind the scenes. Maybe he does, but it is just at a face value, a very strange bunch of decisions, like Ben says, for a studio to go, yes, we think money will come of these.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
a studio that, mind you, needs
no money.
the money.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It'll be interesting, but don't worry.
So was this one going to be live action?
Yes, this would be a live action series.
At least it has that going for it. That's all right.
And especially going to HBO. HBO did Game of Thrones, so they know how to make that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, still strange.
There'll definitely be a budget.
Yeah, but finally, a couple of projects from the end. Another movie, and this movie finally will introduce this world's Batman.
Okay, cool.
And this world's Robin. We're skipping a fair way forward because this is going to be fucking Damian Wayne, which is the third Robin. So we're skipping past Dick and Jason and getting straight to Damian. I know, Sam. For me, I like this because...
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Because the good thing about it is it means that Nightwing exists, it means Red Hood exists, it means that Batgirl exists. The whole family is already there. So it's as we've got the Batman to be the dark, gritting, I don't like people version of Batman. This will be the Batman that has his family and has
a team.
Which I'm very keen to see.
Yeah, of course.
It says that this is going to be almost a story about Damian and kind of his origin story, and that will seam us into the world of Batman. So we'll, Doctor Who, we'll go through the eyes of the companion, slowly understanding the world. So in a way, it will feel, I guess, like an origin story for Batman, but without the usual shit. It's more we'll slowly get a drip feed of the world of Batman. I'm keen for it. It's based specifically, and this comic cover is from it, from the Grant Morrison comic run, and it will feature a lot of the Bat family, so it'll feature Nightwing and stuff like that too.
Okay, cool.
You had a reaction. How?
Yeah. No, because I was just like, because in my head the whole time, and even like leading up to like this announcement, it was like he had always said he wanted his universe to start off young.
Yes. Yeah.
So I like.
Yeah.
I don't have any problems with this. It's like I would have liked to see the other two versions of Robin first.
Yeah.
Especially because I forget the name, but the one that gets kidnapped by the Joker,
Jason Todd.
Yeah, Jason Todd. Like I would have liked to have seen that. A little bit, because that's like I find that to be a really like
that's a fair
core
point.
sort of story in the DC universe.
That is fair. That is a good point. That whilst it's cool that we skipped ahead, there'll kind of never be a reason to go back to those pivotal moments for characters.
Yes.
That's a good point.
That
is a shame. I'm intrigued by the development of this universe because unlike
me too, man.
The longer we go along with this, the more I'm like, wait, what the fuck is happening? Because I know flashbacks exist, but flashbacks are the worst form of storytelling in history.
I know that you are not a fan of them.
I fucking despise them.
Yeah.
I never used to, but like every film and TV thing has flashbacks now, and it's mind-numbingly dull. And also, there would be no reason to do a flashback because this is where we've decided for the story to go.
Exactly, yeah. So there's not anything where you can go back and the audience can be like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Because like they've got nothing to go off of.
You need to create these characters and you need to understand them in this film. You can't go...
Absolutely.
You need to have read the comics, especially, again, for a brand new universe.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's a bold choice, a brave and bold choice, I guess.
Yeah, as with everything so far.
Yep. Look, the next one is a bold choice, but one of the least risky choices, especially because it's a character that people know. Another live-action series for HBO Max. It's a Booster Gold series.
What the actual fuck?
Now, Sam, I know you have not been exposed. This is like...
No. Yeah. So, like, I do know the character.
Yeah, okay.
I do know him well, only because it was in Smallville.
That's true, yeah.
But like,
famously the best interpretation of every character.
Yeah, but like my reaction was purely because this is the last thing I expected to be announced ever.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's just amusing to me, that's all.
Look at the chat. The chat's going off. He's not angry that it exists.
I'm not angry. I was just very shocked. It's okay, guys. It's okay.
The basic thing it says is a loser from the future who uses his basic...
A loser from the future.
Correct.
Nice.
Who uses his basic future technology to come back to today and pretend to be a superhero. So it's kind of... Yeah. It's got a cool hook. It's kind of going to be a story about imposter syndrome in superheroes. There'll be I feel like it's going to have a very nice balance, mess of a man exactly, a nice balance of humor, but like fucking depressing, hard-hitting humanness.
Yeah, like there'll be a very heavy, like emotional, like drive under all that, you know?
Which would be like that, he's not like directly writing it or anything, but Peacemaker really nailed that. So if it's something similar to that, this is a quote from James Gunn. He says, I think of it as basically the story of a superhero's imposter syndrome. How do you deal with that? It's about how he tries to use his future technology to be loved by the people of today. And what it really is at the base of that, it's a character story that's going to be a very different type of show. And we're talking to an actor about it now.
Cool.
Which is interesting.
Zac Efron, please.
That wouldn't be bad.
This sounds exciting.
Yeah.
Because...
Ryan Gosling. Fuck yeah.
That'd be good.
But he's getting into apparently he's in the MCU in the next 2 years, so I don't know if we're going to double dip, but...
Could you imagine if this is Henry Cavill?
That would be pretty funny.
That'd be funny.
He's a very small man. This one, you need a...
Yeah. But what we'll say is, like, because there is an episode in Smallville based around this character in the later season. I think it's like season 9, I think. But that episode is pretty much the same thing. He comes from the future to get praised by the people of today as a hero using purely just technology from the future.
Yeah, cool.
And like they don't dive into it that much because you only got like 45 minutes. Yeah. But like that was probably like when I think of Smallville, that is an episode that is in the head. So if they do well with this, I reckon it will go pretty good. pretty far.
And it's live action, so you can just enjoy it, Sam.
I can. Exactly right. I can enjoy it.
Dolphin Pet says, knowing James Gunn, it'll be Dave Bautista. Oh, God. Oh, God. That man.
That'd be funny.
He needs to stop talking about... Anyway, moving on to the next film, Sam, and I think you'll be very excited for this one too. It is Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
Cool. That's cool.
This is based on Tom King's run of comics from last year, from 2 years. So 2021. So it's a very recent story.
Holy shit! People are going to be buying the shit out of all these comics now.
Genuinely, I meant to look up how much those are going for, but it's yeah. Again, cool that he's basing it directly on a comic. Basic premise. In our story, we have Superman who was sent to Earth and raised by incredibly loving parents. Kara was on Krypton. She was on a piece of Krypton that drifted away from the planet, and she lived there for the first 14 years of her life.
Oh, wow.
There you go. In a horrible situation where she watched everyone around her die. So she's a much harsher and more fucked up Supergirl than you used to see.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's cool.
I want to read the shit out of this comic because if that's the basic premise of the film, I'd love to know. But this is the fear now. Now that we have these direct ties, do we research or do we let the films happen and just enjoy them?
I'm 100% gonna just let them happen.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's so hard. Like I did it with Eternals. Maybe I should have read ahead.
So do we think this was that all the information given? There was no date or name of actors or anything?
No, unfortunately not. But
okay.
Yeah, go on.
No, because I was just going to say, are we thinking maybe they're going to use, I think her name is Sasha Cale, who is going to be Supergirl in The Flash?
Well, I was thinking about that, but I guess if you're recasting Superman, you may need to...
Have to recast.
Yeah, because she's kind of, I mean, not visually cast too, but I assume was cast with the intention of Henry Cavill to pair with. So and maybe she needs to be younger as well to sit alongside...
Fair enough.
This universe. But yeah, that's a good question. I guess we'll see if she
but that
gets
sounds fun.
Out of the Flash movie alive.
Yeah,
who knows what happens?
Who knows what's happening in that movie? No, like that sounds cool. And I know that people have been campaigning for a Supergirl movie for a long time. So I'm keen to see what comes about.
It's very cool. Sadly, that's kind of it for the big players. So a Batman, a Superman, and a Supergirl movie.
Okay.
Nothing from the world of Wonder Woman.
It's an interesting first three films to go with. Well, in my opinion,
one more film.
Okay.
And don't forget, we've also got the Eternals movie. First four movies.
Oh, is that a movie?
Yeah,
okay.
Unfortunately.
Cool.
Our final film of the slate so far, and I'm very keen for this. I hope it works after 100 different tries at this character. We're getting
Justice League. No, okay, kidding.
Justice League.
That's all right.
No, don't be crazy. We haven't even done a Wonder Woman or Aquaman or
nothing.
We're doing a Swamp Thing movie.
Okay.
This character has been attempted so many times. The TV series apparently was pretty good.
Okay.
One of the many DC things that just got snuffed without warning. This is cool. There's not much more information on this apart from the fact that he kind of said, again, with this one, while everything's interconnected, they're not all going to be tonally the same. He wants all the films to have a different aesthetic and a different kind of feel to them.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
So this, I think, knowing Swamp Thing, I keep going to say Man Thing, but knowing Swamp Thing, seeing Man Thing in Werewolf by Night, I feel like we might get something similar where this is a little bit hammer horror, but maybe also a little bit dark and introspective, because Swamp Thing's a very sad character. Swamp Thing was confirmed to be Elseworlds, wasn't it? No, it's part of the slate. It is a weird quote, because he started by saying, although they're interconnected, but he then went on to talk about the tone. But yeah, that is the current slate.
So is that everything?
That's everything that was that was talked about today. Creature Commandos, which is the animated show. Waller, which is the live-action series. Superman Legacy, the first movie. Lanterns, the live-action show. The Authority, the Eternals movie. Paradise Lost, which is the Themyscira show. Batman the Brave and Bold. I assume they will put the Batman logo above that, because you're not going to sell a movie by just calling it the Brave and Bold.
No way.
Or maybe he'll fucking try because he's a madman. The Booster Gold series, Supergirl movie, and then Swamp Thing.
Interesting.
That's what he's prepared to talk about. He said that there's surprises, there's more projects that possibly will fill the years a bit more. Like there'll be a few more things before or after stuff. But wild choices. The one thing that I, as someone who fucking hates the way Marvel is making their movies at the moment, he said that the writing is going to come first on everything. They're not going to start production until they have a script that's like, we're good, that's it, that's the movie we're making.
Okay.
Obviously, things change in production, but he was talking about how writers in the film industry are kind of just aren't important anymore. They're there to kind of fill scenes where things need to be. But he's like, I want these scripts to be scripts. I want an actor to read it and know what the movie is going to be. So that's very exciting. And likewise, release dates won't happen until they're like, yeah, this movie is ready. Like,
yeah, for sure.
They're not going to, like they have with this, they're not going to go, oh yeah, we'll be ready like August next year. Should be sweet. They're not going to do that.
No. That's interesting. In terms of the movie stuff, it's such a weird start. Such a weird start. Especially, like, purely just from the point of view that, like, mainly with this film here.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I don't know, they all come from different corners of the universe, you know? So, yeah, I'm intrigued to see how it kind of, like, will piece together eventually. Yep. What I am glad about, though, I'm glad that there isn't any, like, team-up films yet with, like, the core group.
Yep.
I've always said that sort of stuff should just wait at least at the end of a phase, or in this case, a chapter, or in another chapter, once you've established everything. Because, for example, with the Flash that's coming out this year, people are talking about it being the Crisis thing, or like Flashpoint or whatever. I've never liked the idea of that. Back then, because we weren't going to have this new era of DC. But at the time when this wasn't a thing, I was like, this Flash movie sounds like the dumbest idea ever. Totally. Because you're going to throw in a multi-character film, multi-universe film, where people are going to get confused and angry about it and scream on Twitter. So
I didn't see this quote, but Dolphin Pants says that Gunn actually mentioned that the Flash is important to kind of just put a button on everything and reboot. Okay. So that maybe it will be the thing to kind of put a button on everything. I mean, speaking of the Flash, the one cool thing, I mean, lots of cool things about this, but comparing it to a movie like that is so much chaos and so much like, that's not going to be enjoyable to watch. Each of these are so simple in each premise. Like, that's really exciting to me. I mean, totally. You look at the start of Marvel, like Iron Man 1 really only has one idea, same with Thor and Captain America. Exactly. So hopefully these kind of do feel singular. I hope that, I don't know, I hope it doesn't feel too James Gunn, because I only like him as the Guardians guy. He's never done anything else good.
Because, like, and we both said this, it's like, we can't see him running a whole universe. No. So, I'm still not convinced until these movies come out. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I like this Peacemaker show. I guess that's
that's fine. That's all right. But yeah, so, like, until we see evidence that he can manage things well and things can be made without it being a pain. Then sure. But until then, I'm just gonna withdraw a little bit from being too excited for things.
You've got Superman and Lois to watch like next week or something, don't you?
That as well, man. Yeah, you're good. If he gets rid of that, I'm actually gonna murder someone.
Well, he did briefly talk. I don't think if he talked about it, but 2 more seasons at least. That possibly after 2 more seasons it'll be over, is kind of.
I can live with that.
Yeah.
As long as it's not like mid this season, they're like, oh, that's it. See ya.
I think you're safe. I think the thing that I got really excited about, sad that, you know, Doom Patrol and one other show got cancelled. I can't remember what it was. But sad that they got the axe Titans. But because he brought across the Doom Patrol guy, it feels like he's at least like, I can see the talent that's working on these shows. So even, you know, if that show gets canned, maybe a lot of the creatives will come over to work on the Superman character because they fucking understand him. So it'd be nice to keep them around.
Yeah, totally. I mean, look, and I think that's a very important thing for Gunn to implement with this time around doing these films, like just hire people that know the characters and that are passionate about the universe. Because the last thing you want is the suits at Warner Brothers to step in who know nothing and just screw things over.
No, not again.
Please don't let that happen. Please don't. Not. I literally do not think I can live through it. I don't think I can.
Hell, man. Especially now that he's done this big thing, it's like you've got to nail it, buddy. This is it. This is it.
Yeah, I know. Like, there's so much pressure on him. So much pressure.
And he's still like finishing Guardians 3. He's not even done. He's
just slandering the MCU in his pitch.
God, what a madman. What a madman.
Oh, God.
Well, that was pretty cool. I think overall it's exciting, fucking bizarre, but exciting, I think.
Yeah. I'm confused. I think it's that thing where it's like you just need time for it to like mellow and, you know, get the idea in your head. But I'm sure once I kind of maybe read up on a few things, I'll probably be a bit more excited. And who knows, I might go watch the thing myself, and maybe hearing it from Gunn, I'll just get really excited. Who knows?
Get creamed.
Huggins
says, remember when James Gunn got fired? Which is a good point. Remember that little period of time when no one wanted James Gunn?
Because he got cancelled for a few months?
That's so funny. I forgot about that. Okay, that's a good point. Maybe he deserves the shit on Disney and Marvel. He's got that right. That's fair.
That's a good point. That's good point.
Well, we've got the right to finish this podcast.
We do.
If you've enjoyed it, please give us a subscribe if you're seeing our faces. If you're not seeing our faces, follow the podcast. There's a lot more stuff that pop around here, like Twitch streaming over on twitch.tv/ETTOnline, where we stream Mondays, sometimes Wednesdays, and sometimes Fridays. So if you want to see our faces there, you can. Where can they, not so much your face, but your lovely art, Sam, where can they see that?
If you want to see some fan art for DC and Marvel and any other things we talk about, you can go over to Instagram and follow me at SamStudioAU. That'd be lovely. Thank you.
It's a shame you didn't get any actors out of this because you can't get cracking.
That's what I was really hoping for. Like, not for the fact that I can make some shit, but more so I was like, I would love to put a face to these characters. Hopefully soon.
Yeah, I'm sure Superman by like Comic-Con or something will know some.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
A Black Adam like come down from the ceiling with a cape and
wire breaks and
don't worry, we've got another Superman ready.
It's Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill. That's right. Fuck. All right, let's get out of this podcast. We've got another thing to do. Thanks everybody. Till the next time, I've been Will.
And I've been Sam.